So, hi guys, welcome to the MMA UK BJJ show. Obviously, to MMA UK news. So, it's obviously a special episode. So, every now and again, we do like a kind of highlight episode where we talk about maybe a highlight from jiu-jitsu or MMA or anything that's happened over the last few days. So, joined by obviously Michael. Michael was a guest on our show, I think about a week or so ago.
Yeah.
So obviously Michael's decided to jump on board with MMA UK news. So you're going to see and hear more from Michael. So you're talking about doing both, bit of writing and some videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump in the deep end and just do it all. Really, see what I can do.
Nice. So Michael will obviously be in touch with people. We'll try to get people on the show. So whether he's doing it via video or he's doing it. The good thing about the video, as you know, Michael, being on the show, I mean, it's because it's live. I mean, anything can happen. Anybody can say anything and
yeah.
do anything and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I like the video stuff. You get, I think anyway, you get a real insight into people's personalities and stuff, and it's a bit more personal, I think.
Yeah. So you're going to hear Michael's going to be doing a bit of both. So yeah, definitely going to be hearing and seeing more from Michael over the coming kind of weeks and months. So the highlight for jiu-jitsu was the weekend. Obviously, UFC 258. The big fight that I was excited about seeing was the return of Rodolfo Vieira. So Rodolfo, I mean, he hasn't fought in about a year. I think it was about 11 months. Obviously, COVID, he had his baby and stuff like that. So I was excited. I mean, I love Rodolfo Vieira. I mean, I've followed Rodolfo Vieira since I started jiu-jitsu. So I was excited to see him coming back.
Yeah. I me personally, I obviously love the grappling side of MMA. So whenever there's a grappling heavy fighter on there, I make sure I watch it, or I'll stay up and watch it live. And someone like Rodolfo is obviously he's insane. Like when you talk about jiu-jitsu, he's 180cc, which you don't do if you can't grapple. And he's a phenomenal. So I was there. I was ready to watch it. It was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as the Rodolfo Vieira, you mentioned there, ADCC, Abu Dhabi World Pro, multiple IBJJF champion, European champion, and man, the list goes on for this kid. I mean, he was certainly as a brown belt. I mean, coming through as a brown belt, what was he, the black belt killer or the black belt hunter?
Yeah, his nickname's the black belt killer. Yeah, so
I mean, he was taking out black belts at will. So I mean, obviously, he came up against Antonio Hernandez. So I mean, it was pretty much what I thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion. Rodolfo was going to go in, he was going to take him down, which pretty much is how it started. Rodolfo went in, he took him down, obviously out grappled him on the ground, trying to go for submissions, but just couldn't get any on.
Nah, sometimes the thing is when you're fighting MMA, there's levels to the game. Yes, like I would never bet against Ryan Hall, right? And then on the same page, I don't think I'd ever bet against Rodolfo. Like I genuinely think in a how long is it? 15-minute, 20-minute match. He's gonna catch us up. Like they're just that good. So hence why we're on video talking about it. It's a bit of a shock, the outcome of the fight, right?
It was. I mean, I'd say he tried that first round. I mean, I'd say the Rodolfo. I think the first part. In the first round, I mean, Rodolfo was all over him, going for submission after submission, just couldn't get anything, got back onto the feet. He got hit with a couple of very big punches. I mean, he had a very good chin, Rodolfo. I mean, he took a lot of good punches and he kept coming, but he gassed very, very quickly.
Yeah, he's written some things afterwards, after the fight, hasn't he? And it's difficult. I don't want to take anything away from the other guy because like you just said, phenomenal defense to hold off someone like that, or just to defend any sub attempts, really, to hold off, so to defend anything is phenomenal. But it doesn't sound like Rodolfo was in an amazing place going into this fight, or and then I think the cardio kind of showed that. So something wasn't right anyway. But I don't want to take anything away from the other guy because he still had to defend himself and defend multiple attempts right before he managed to get the win.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed that with Rodolfo. I mean, he came in, he was big. He looked big. He looked muscly. Maybe a little bit more musclier than normal. And obviously that's him. I mean, Rodolfo normally, when he was doing jiu-jitsu, he was a super heavyweight, so he was 100 kilos.
Yeah, he's
and now he's fighting at 185. So he's obviously cut right down, and then he's just shredded. Absolutely shredded.
It's hard. It shows like having done MMA, like when you know you haven't done enough, you'll try and cut corners and pack on the muscle and try and, you know, if that makes sense. Like, so him looking shredded could mean he might get caught by USADA afterwards. We never know. Like he's come out and said he went for a tough patch, which could mean he wasn't able to train properly, COVID, all sorts of things. But the muscle thing's quite funny because it could be quite obvious that he, you know, he's packed it on, and muscle's never easy to. You can't have a massive gas tank with that much. But he looked pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah. So, and then I said Antonio Hernandez. I said, as you mentioned there, obviously taking nothing away from him. He came out and done his job. I mean, I said having somebody like Rodolfo Vieira going in and knowing exactly what he's going to do. He's going to take you down. It's not a case of is he going to take me down? It's when is he going to take me down? So it's coming.
The other guy, is he a purple belt? The other guy,
purple belt, zero tab apparently. So
yeah, he's no mug. Like this is someone now. In his next fight, I'm going to tune in. Right, I want to see what he's up to again. Like he's like big time.
Yeah, I mean, see if you look at his record. I mean, that's the one thing I looked at was his record, and what's he had? I think he's had 8 fights, 6 wins, two losses, and all of his wins, or I think majority of his wins, bar one, came from submission.
Yeah, so he's
and it was all chokes. Yeah, it was either guillotine or I think it was one anaconda choke, but majority of them was guillotines.
Yeah, so I saw like most people do, and it was a shocking result. Purple belt tapped Rodolfo, you know. But that it can happen, man. They weren't doing jiu-jitsu, don't forget. They weren't doing jiu-jitsu. They were doing MMA. They were fighting. And if this kid grabs hold of your neck, it looks like he finishes it. So, you know, you could win as many ADCCs if you want. When someone's just good at fighting and good at fighting jiu-jitsu, it's totally different. Like if you put Rodolfo in this weekend and he's doing a jiu-jitsu competition, he walks it. He's that good, right? But I mean, they were fighting. And this kid, it looks like, I might stick a tenner on it next time. He might catch a guillotine. He's obviously got a mean one.
There's that thing as well. I mean, Peter laughs about jiu-jitsu guys and saying jiu-jitsu works until you get punched in the face. Do you know what I mean? So, but I mean, Rodolfo, I'd say he took a few big punches the other day, and he kind of came through. Obviously, it kind of hurt him. You could tell it hurt him. But yeah, I mean that guillotine as well. That was a beautiful guillotine.
Yeah, it was. Don't forget, guillotine's one of the highest odds submissions in MMA. And going back to the jiu-jitsu thing, jiu-jitsu is changing for MMA. They're not jumping on positions where they're getting nailed anymore as much. And always going on about Ryan Hall because he's an example. No one wants to fight him because he's that good. But he's got a whole system of not, you know, people can't punch him and stuff. But you can be as good as you like at ground and pound. When someone's that good on your neck, Uriah Faber, really good for guillotines. The whole of Team Alpha Male, really good for guillotine. Doesn't mean they were good at jiu-jitsu. They were just really good. Once they had hold of your neck, it was pretty much done. He looks like one of them. It's exciting. It's a nice thing to have in your arsenal as a fighter, isn't it?
Yeah.
He must be flying. That guy must be absolutely flying because, like you said, going into this fight, you would think, mate, if this goes to the deck, I mean, I'm all right, but this is Rodolfo Vieira, and he's managed to win. You know, fair play to him. But I hope Rodolfo comes back. I like him. He's a cool guy. But
yeah, I mean, we went to a seminar. I mean, what was it? It was last year, and he did not last year, sorry, the year before, and he did at the end of the seminar. He rolled with every single person at the seminar.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So
what he done was he took like couple of minutes per person. There was maybe 30 people in the room, and he rolled with it. It was an hour. Started off black belts first, all the way down to blue belt. Didn't roll with any white belts. for obvious reasons. I mean, white belts can be
A bit
crazy
crazy,
at times. Yeah, so he didn't roll with any white belts. But yeah, rolled with everybody in the room, and he was tired by the end of it, but he was still okay. And as you
yeah.
mentioned, the jiu-jitsu cardio very, very different from
It's
MMA
different.
cardio.
Well, you said he got dinged a few times. It showed he had a chin, but that does take its effect as well. And I
Yeah,
think as MMA fans, we all have this like real quick way of overlooking, like when someone says ADCC champ, we just go, oh, all right, as if that's like nothing. Like
yeah,
if you have two elite strikers or one striker that's not as good as the elite striker, and he knocks him out, the world goes mad. But this kid's done the equivalent on the deck, like to defend as many attempts as he did, and then not only defend but catch someone like that who does
yeah,
guillotine defense every day. Like it's there should be more, like there should be more of an uproar for the kid. Like done really well, but
yeah.
MMA still very striker heavy. I mean, the owner's fucking striker heavy, so it's always going to rub down.
Definitely. And then, what about Rodolfo then? Where's he go? Where's he go from here? Because obviously, I mean, it's one of them things. I mean, as I said, you're going to lose. Everybody at some point in MMA, or the majority of people are going to have a loss.
Yeah.
Is it better to get a loss early, or is it? I mean, how what would you think? I mean, where's his head at the moment?
So I think there's losing, and then there's losing like he did, because he, like we've discussed, he's like he'll feel like jiu-jitsu's looking at him now, which everyone is, right? It was unfortunately one of those where you think it's again, it's like if Ryan Hall lost by sub, it perked you up. When BJ Penn lost, it perks you up by
Yeah,
submission. Like if Adesanya gets knocked out, it perks the world up. Like it's gonna hurt for him because he's considered the ground man, right? And the guillotine. But he's just good. He's just gonna come back and he'll sub someone. He is just generally that good. Like he is that good, and you can't say he's not gonna sub someone. He's just gonna do it again. He is that good. But
yeah,
people say he just got caught, but I think that's a disservice to the other guy because he didn't. It wasn't a scramble when he got caught. The guy was defending. He does look really good. I don't care if you're a purple belt, whatever. The kid can grapple. He was great. But I want to see Rodolfo come back. Will they? I don't think the UFC look after grapplers too much anyway. They won't set him up with anything. It'll be another tough fight probably.
yeah.
He'll probably be even more muscular, and he'll come back and do someone in.
Do you think 185 is good for him? Do you think he maybe needs to go look at maybe 205?
He probably cuts too much, looking at the cardio
Yeah,
thing. It because you can make something doesn't mean you're comfortable there. Like I used to fight flyweight and I fucking hated it. Like it just wasn't for me. Like even though I'm small, I just didn't. It just wasn't me. I wasn't strong. I was just like, ugh, And I fought a few times at bantamweight, and I just felt healthy and normal, and it was more fun for me. I probably would have fought longer if it was more fun.
yeah,
Like he can obviously make the weight, but like you said, if your cardio is just gonna go, like just go up a weight. He's big enough for it. He's done it before. Like you said, he's massive, isn't he? He's a big fella.
yeah, yeah. I think he's fought at ultra and super heavy, if I can remember rightly.
He is a unit.
So yeah, so he's kicking about. He's probably kicking about at, I don't know, before weight cutting, maybe 220, 230.
Mate, and he's
Dropping
making
down to
that weight.
185.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. So and obviously he's been away for 11 months. Obviously he's had his kid. He's not really trained as much. Obviously he had COVID and stuff
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
he said,
COVID.
like he wrote something like his grandmother. I think it's his grandmother or someone passed away as well and stuff. It's not been easy for him, but
Yeah.
again, like we all tend to, especially when you lose in MMA, you look everywhere else apart from yourself. Like sometimes they're all in the same boat. I don't think anyone's training really well with COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'd like him to come back and stuff like that, but it's probably unfair to, say everything. It was just this one that stings. He probably should have waited a few days before he wrote his status, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of them.
But no, as you said, Antonio Hernandez, well done. As I said, just submitted probably one of the top jiu-jitsu guys
Yeah, I
ever.
can't lie. I can't lie. I've never really heard of that guy before. Do you know what I mean? But fair play to him. Fair play.
Hopefully, they were talking away, and he had a laugh about it after it, saying that he's hoping he goes back to his gym and he gets 2 tabs on his purple belt. So, but mate, yeah, I think they would just give you
Mate,
the next belt.
well
You know what I mean?
deserved, mate. Yeah.
So, but no, well done to him. Well done. As I said, it'd be interesting to see where the UFC, as you said, UFC not very big on jiu-jitsu grapplers. They don't really.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean? The jiu-jitsu guys get thrown in against all sorts. So
Yeah, they're too dangerous, aren't they? It's not easy to see what they're going to do.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. And then obviously Antonio Hernandez, as I said, Anthony Hernandez, as you said, you're going to look out for him. I'm definitely going to look out
Yeah,
for him.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
he's definitely he's gathered a good few fans after that win on Saturday. So
Yeah, man.
so spot on. But yeah, no, listen, thanks very much, Michael. As I said,
Yeah, cheers, bro.
it's good to obviously talk about this. There's going to be the article as well. So obviously Peter's got an article up about just a part of some of Rodolfo's statement. Rodolfo as well said he hoped that the Anthony Hernandez got the £50,000
Yeah,
for
yeah.
$50,000, and he did. So he got. I can't remember if it was fight of the night, submission of the night, but it was one of the two. But yeah, he got an extra 50 G's, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome, man, isn't it? That's sick.
On top. So he probably walked away. I don't know. He maybe walked away with 80 or 90 grand
Not
for
bad.
6 or 7 minutes work. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
not too bad for him. So, but yeah, Michael, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you too, bro.
Looking forward to seeing what you do. As I said,
Yeah.
hopefully we get you some videos. So anybody who wants to chat with Michael, you know where he is. Just drop my message. There's going to be a lot of people. I mean, you're going to be looking at what MMA, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I've got like obviously I still compete myself and still knock about the scenes and stuff. So I know a lot of up and comers. I know all the oldies. I know all the good jiu-jitsu dudes. And yeah, hopefully we'll just be able to sit back and like get to know the scene pretty well. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for anyway. So
nice one.
all
So
good.
look forward to that.
Cheers,
Definitely
bro.
look forward to that. So thanks again, Michael. You enjoy the rest of your evening, buddy.
Cheers, man. You too, bro. Catch you soon.